So do I look here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gardner-Webb assistant wrestling coach Daniel Elliott. Talk a little bit about things that are moving forward in your program. New wrestling facility. I know you guys have been pretty excited about that. Talk about what's moving forward down in Boiling Springs.
Well, right now, like you said, our facility is the biggest thing. We are moving from a mat room where you can reach up and touch the ceiling with your hands into an old gym that was an elementary school's gym that wasn't being used. Then the Y used it. They got rid of it, but they've given it to us. The town's let us have it. We're putting a new roof on. We're putting new windows in, redoing the plumbing. Going to have over 2,600 square feet of mat space. We'll have 3 offices in there, a study hall room, some weight equipment, exercise bikes, and so freestanding by itself, all to our own. So that's our biggest thing right there.
What's it been like? A lot of people don't know a whole lot about the program. Historically, it's made a recent move from Division II. I have had a handful of NCAA qualifiers since, but what's a little bit about Gardner-Webb that maybe the general wrestling community doesn't know? Obviously there's some people out there that might not know it's a Division I school, or where it's at, and realize it's in North Carolina, or what type of school it is. So just give us a little breakdown on a who's who or what's what of Gardner-Webb.
Right. Well, like you said, we moved Division I in 2000 and 2001, fully. Division I in 02-03 was our first year we could qualify for NCAAs. We are a small Baptist Christian university in the base of the mountains of North Carolina. We used to, when we'd qualify guys for NCAAs, we'd have shirts made that on the back says, "Where's Gardner-Webb?" And we'd have the state and a little star where we are so people know. But we compete in the East region, us with Liberty and Campbell and Millersville, and working on getting a 15-man since Duquesne just dropped. Small group of kids who are really committed right now. Got young guys. We had 7 freshmen in the lineup last year, 7 starters coming back next year. So it's an exciting time right now where we are, trying to make that next step over to be one of the best teams in the Southeast.
Well, one of the things that you've been bringing up, not just here at the NWCA convention, but it's kind of been your personal, I guess what's the word, pilgrimage,
right,
is to add more schools in the conference, all sports conference, which Gardner-Webb competes. That's the Big South. And the angle you're taking is one that NAIA schools have used a lot with enrollment-driven universities. Give us a little bit about what you're trying to do with getting those schools down in the Big South to add and actually have a Big South wrestling conference.
Well, first off, with how we have been approaching on saving wrestling, I think is a little too. You wait around, someone cuts, then we go and try to save the program. I think if we take a different approach, like you said, approach to small private schools who would benefit from having these programs from kids in school. That's the approach my idea is. And so the Big South that we compete in with everything else, Liberty's in it, Campbell's in it, VMI's in it, but they still wrestle in the Southern Conference. But there's 3 other private schools in the Big South that would benefit over $600,000 a year from having 30 wrestlers. That's after budget, that's after scholarships are subtracted, that's after equipment, everything. They're going to net over $600,000 per year. And I think if we take that approach to administrators, the president of the schools, show them the numbers, I don't understand how they can just turn their nose up and say no to wrestling.
Just throwing those names out there. Presbyterian's been one. They've recently moved to Division I. High Point's been Division I for a little while.
Charleston Southern would be another one. That'd be the second. There's only one Division I school in South Carolina with wrestling, and that's the Citadel.
Well, what about the success that you can probably even pitch to those South Carolina schools? Look at Newberry and Limestone, Division II level.
Booming. They've come out of nowhere. They're very young schools. Newberry brings in over 40, 45 kids on the roster every single year, and so there's a need and there's a desire. Georgia wrestling's growing. South Carolina's wrestling's getting better. Florida, they have nowhere to go. So I think, and if you start these programs in the South, kids will come there instead of going all over the country.
So in terms of Gardner-Webb's role, getting back to your program, some people don't know, Gardner-Webb's never going to be an Iowa program in terms of competing for a national championship, the way it stands right now.
Right.
What are the goals year in, year out for Gardner-Webb?
On the mat or what?
Overall, both of them. Why not?
Well, first, we're having to make some strides. We have some discipline issues in the past. We kicked some kids off the team. So right now, our biggest concern is getting our grades up and our APR numbers back up. We're on a penalty right now because we kicked 6, 7 kids off the team 2 years ago on scholarship. And they were cancer, got rid of them. we're moving ahead. We're happy with the group we have, and athletically, we've got to come to the point where we're beating the East Region schools on a consistent basis before we can move on to the Southern Conference and the ACC schools. And I guess one of my personal goals is I want to be the top private school around. And then once we move that, we can start moving to be the best team in the state, best team in the Southeast. And I think we got to really work on beating the Liberty, the Campbell, the Davidsons all consistently before we can even look at our big goals of trying to knock off Carolina or Virginia Tech or Virginia, because we got a long ways to go. But sport of wrestling, it'll happen, and if you work hard, and that's what we need, hard workers, and it'll come. So.